When it comes to kettlebell instruction for train the trainer, that's so a trainer or a coach or a therapist who's learning for themselves how to mess with kettlebells for the expressed intent and purpose to show someone else how to do it. That's a completely different learning and teaching experience than that newly certified instructor doing it for someone else. Let me explain. When you do a hands-on based type of education approach, I will always say a few things. Number one, I will say, we're not doing an evaluation here, so I have no idea if I would ever have you do any of these things. Remember, I am showing you these things, not so you can do them, but so that you can show them to someone else. Now, it is not insurmountable, but it's a different ballgame when I need to show you how to do things that you can't do yourselves. I'm not sure that it's the worst idea. I know it's not a bad idea that you have to be able to demonstrate certain things. I was always very, very defensive in terms of supporting a snatch test. Not because I really need you to do, it's not like you can't be a great kettlebell instructor if you don't do this, but it did tell me a number of things. Number one, it says you're really fit, because to throw anything over your head 100 times in a period of time, there's a level of fitness. You couldn't be weak. Strong is a relative, but you couldn't be weak. And I think that's very, very important. To do a kettlebell snatch once, you have to have a minimum level of mobility and stability. And then lastly, you actually cared, because there's not too many people that can just stare at a 24-kilo kettlebell for the first time and then throw it over their head 100 times in 5 minutes. So there's a lot of actually desirable qualities that I think could translate to someone being a good coach. It's certainly not obligatory. But now, if somebody can do those things, they're going to be able to experience all of the different progressions of your hinging, from deadlift to single deadlift to swings to your ballistics with cleans and snatches. They're going to be able to feel the progressions and all the different 7 positions times 2 of the get up and down. And the value to that is not so they can do it, it's so that they can coach someone else. Now, when they leave that facility and they go back to their gym and their office and start teaching kettlebells, they should not be going through the same progression of what that person did in the seminar. The seminar is 2.5, 3 days max. Is it really reasonable in 3 sessions that every single person that you're working with is going to be proper to swing and do a full get-up or a snatch? That doesn't even make any sense. Like that's very difficult to appreciate. So there is a suggestion that there's an elite level of proficiency at the kettlebell deadlift that you should do before you do a kettlebell swing, that you should do before you do a one-arm kettlebell swing, that you should be able to do before you do any version of snatches or cleans. There's a very, very high level of proficiency required of a lot of different things related to the shoulder, related to the hips, related to the glutes, etc. As you move, probably past the sweep or the high bridge, halfway through on your way up to the get up. I think the way that is probably correct in certifying someone as a coach is then completely outlandish that pace of learning and exposure. Yes, people are going too fast from deadlift to swing and further. People are going through the get up way too fast, because that appears to be the pace that they learned when they were certifying themselves.